Information, sir. Just last week, the college hosted the National
Sangam's College of Nursing and Health Care Education,
which is a real blessing, and it is indeed an exciting month. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing with us the vision, your dream as the leader of the TSI Sangam Fiji and the college fraternity.
Excellency Ambassador Amra Naidu, one of Fiji's most famous sons and a person who has been associated with excellence for a long time in his life. And I think here in Sangam, we're very fortunate to have somebody of this caliber that has a reputation for excellence in everything that he touches. Wantarane Kaltala, the directors, our staff members from the Ministry of Health, and the students, and all of you that are here today. I'm very glad to be here. As His Excellency the former ambassador has talked about, I am a great believer in training. It's something that's very close to my heart, and I think that it is something that's absolutely essential for us to be able to develop a country that we can all be proud of. A country that does its best for its people. And at the heart of all that is being able to be sure that we have people serving this country that have the knowledge, the skill, and the attitude that will make a difference in the people's lives. And that's why I'm very glad to be here this morning. Anything to do with human resource development, for me, is something that I've always made time for, because it's something that's critical for all of us. I've got some notes on the Sangam College of Nursing, and I'd like to congratulate everybody that's been involved in this institution. I think when I came last year, I visited the facilities that you have upstairs. I've also talked to our people in the ministry about what you've been able to achieve here, and I'm very glad to see what you've been able to do. I've noticed that from the data that has been given to me, that we've had this facility has been open since 2005. We've had a lot of students come through. The numbers that I have been given is that we have 512 nurses in total have been trained. I think out of the 2,600 or 2,700 nurses that we have within the ministry, that's quite a substantive number. It's about 20% of all the number that we have. So congratulations to the school for being able to produce that. Not only for producing nurses, but also being able to deal with our evolving needs in this particular area, in the area of nursing. I understand that a few years ago you've been able to have a postgraduate diploma in midwifery, which is something that was absolutely essential for us. And now we've had the nurse practitioners program and also the certificate level program in enrolled nursing program. I think that is a hallmark of a great institution where you're able to adapt your programs to the need that exists. Once again, in this particular program, we've been able to evolve a new program that meets our requirements right now. Today, the 13th of June 2016, is another significant milestone because we're launching this particular program, the Bachelor of Nursing Science post-registration, a bridging program, which is the first for Fiji. And I congratulate everybody that has been involved. The ambassador has talked about the process that led to this. It's gone through the quality assurance mechanisms that have been put in place by government, whether that's through the Fijian Nursing Council, the Higher Education Commission. All of these are put in place by government to make sure that when you get a product, it is something that is going to be useful, that is going to have an impact on the people that we have. I understand that this program will serve our nurses that have Fiji's registered nurses with a minimum of 3 years experience who have completed the Diploma of Nursing program. And you'll be given the extra competence, the extra knowledge that will allow you to be able to give of yourself in full. Information given to me is that this program includes content on areas like health assessment, nursing inquiry, and spirituality, which I think is a very important part of being able to serve people. Management in nursing and risk management, nursing research, advanced primary health care, and the wellness approach. I noticed when the ambassador was talking about the extensive consultation that took place. And I think that's a very important component that you need in the development of any program, to make sure that you access the thoughts and the thinking of those that are already in the field. So that when you develop a product, it is appropriate, and it is fit for purpose. It is very important for all of us. I am told that the nurses who graduate from this program will demonstrate qualities including commitment to caring within the confines of evidence-based nursing, and that they will be able to use their skills of critical analysis. And I think that's something that's very important for all of us. We don't, we used to think about people in the past who can just do what they are told to do, but they can't critically analyze things for themselves and be able to come up with a new solution when there's a need for a new solution. And this is something that we need across in all types of institutions. People who can look at the situation, analyze it, understand what the solution is, and then be able to implement the solution. So I'm very glad that the idea of critical analysis is being brought into this program. Notes that I've been given also show that the graduate will demonstrate the skills which will enable them to work independently and collaboratively. That's very important also. Nurses and everybody in the health fraternity, they must be able to work on their own. They don't need to be told what to do. They can stand up when they see that something needs to be done, and they take action to do something about it. But it's not enough to be somebody that is able to be work on their own. We, in all spheres of life, we have to be prepared and able to work with others. And that is very, very critical. The ability to work with other nurses, the ability to work with doctors, with the pharmacists, with the lab technicians, and also the ability to work with society in whole. Our customers and our patients and all of this. Ability to be able to work with all of those people will be critical to be able to provide good service. Because those are the kinds of things that we need to be able to move us towards the vision of the Ministry of Health. Ministry of Health, its vision is very clear. What we want is a healthy population, as much as possible. That is a huge ask, to be able to get our population to be as healthy as possible. But it's something that we can do when we work collaboratively across all the different parts that are involved in this. The nursing field today has a lot of challenges. I think in the past few years ago, we had government put in this policy where we will have a retirement policy at the age of 55. A lot of people say that there are bad things about that policy. There are also a lot of good things to do with that policy. But it created a lot of challenges because we've had retirements, we have resignations, we have migration among senior nurses. I know our nurses are in the Middle East, they're in Australia, they're in New Zealand. They're very marketable. I hope the nurses that come through this program don't run away immediately, but you will become very marketable. And it's a good reflection of the training and education systems that we have in our country, that our people can go and there's a demand for them. So I think that's a good reflection of what we have. But that means also that we have significant challenges in terms of skills and competencies. Significant challenges in this area. That's why I'm very glad that this particular program is in place. Hopefully it will begin to address some of those needs that we have in terms of the skills and competencies of our people. I know that within the ministry there is a nursing plan that tries to address some of these areas, looking at things like the kinds of nurses that we need, the need to have specialist nurses in different areas. And that is, in the past we've always had a huge cohort of nurses who were more or less sort of general nurses. Now there's an increasing focus on what we hope to do in the ministry to try to develop specialist nurses that specialize in different areas, so we can maintain their level of competence in the areas that they develop training in. We've had big problems in the past. A nurse has spent so much time in the ICU, on oncology, or in the operating theatre, but the only way that they can get a promotion is if they go into an administrative position. We hope to be able to address that, to try to create specialist career paths within the different areas. And in that way, we can maintain the level of competence and skill in the area that is needed. Of course, to be able to do that, we will need to work very closely with organizations like the Sangha, because we need to develop that body of knowledge that allows people to get further qualifications in the areas in which they need to specialize. That is something that we have done very well for the doctors. It is something that we now need for the nurses. It is something that I intend to focus on as long as I'm in this particular position. We have a much younger nursing workforce, and I realized in talking with the people in the Ministry of Health that there's always a need to be able to make sure that nurses are constantly updated and upskilled so that they maintain their competence. And there are programs that are ongoing. Within the ministry now, we have the assistance of an Aussie volunteer nurse who is looking at things like pediatric intensive care. And that's helping provide that particular knowledge. That particular program consists of 16 hours of learning and a set of competencies to achieve. I believe that as opposed to the past where we talk about promoting people who have worked for a long time in a particular part of the ministry, that we need to focus on the competencies that are required. The people that should be promoted are the ones who have the competencies. And this is something that I've pressed very strongly within the Ministry of Health. When we're talking about managing performance, we must understand what are all the competencies that are required in different categories and make sure we focus our training, our recruitment, and our rewarding for performance based on competencies, based on what people are able to do. That is absolutely fundamental. Look at what people are able to do, and on that basis alone, we should promote people or get them to take up on higher level positions. That particular process, to have a much stronger focus on competencies, is something that's going to take some time, but it shall be the focus that we will have over the next 2 years or so. I understand also from the information that is given to me that in nursing and in the health fraternity as a whole, there are a lot of challenges in logistics issues. We don't always have all the machines that you need. Sometimes people don't have all the drugs, the consumables, and all the different defibrillators and all of those things. So that is always a considerable challenge. I've already talked about the need over the next few years to develop more subspecialized services for our doctors and nurses, and I'm hoping that organizations like the Sangam, the Fijian National University, will take upon them the challenge also of developing those programs. At the moment, the only specialized area that we have is midwifery, because there's a program. I hope in the next few years we'll be able to develop these specialist programs in other areas where there's a need to maintain people in that particular line of work so that they don't all jump into the administrative components of, I think, matrons or nursing managers and so forth. I believe that there's an opportunity for people to maintain their specialist role, get the rewards that they need in terms of monetary and recognition, but at the same time not making it necessary for them to jump to administrative type of work. But that is a dream that I have, to be able to do that. Yeah, repetition here of the things that I've just been talking about. There's just a few things that I'd like to mention. Today, within nursing in Fiji, there are a lot of opportunities, and as a result, if we're able to do this personalization, there'll be more pathways we'll be able to open up in our nurses. Those that go through this particular program, those that go through the specialist programs, there will be more pathways for them. And that is something that is needed to us to have a more well-rounded type of approach, service that we have in the Ministry of Health. One of the things that I'd like to mention, it's a constant issue that I talk about when I talk about to people within the ministry. Some of you are in the ministry, those of you that are out of the ministry. What I find, is a lot of people have the knowledge of what it takes to undertake nursing. You've learned that through the training programs that you go through. You have acquired the knowledge and you've acquired the skill, but there is a problem that I see in terms of execution. It's one thing to be able to have the knowledge and the skill, but the issue that we need is execution. Since coming into this Ministry of Health and Medical Services, one of the things that I've realized, the Ministry of Health is very good for all of our plans and our SOPs. We have SOPs galore. In every little conceivable thing that you need, we've got an SOP. We've got our clinical service networks that have come up and identified all the things that we need to do to deal with issues. But sometimes there's a lack in terms of executing these things. We have brilliant strategic plans. We've just put in place a strategic plan for 2016 to 2020. We have a brilliant plan for NCDs, brilliant plan for TB, brilliant plan for HIV, plans in all different things, diabetes. I just saw the doctor here, so I talked about that too. We have plans in everywhere, but one of the things that we need is execution. And it's not always easy. Because sometimes you don't have the kind of equipment that you need. But that does not mean that you should stop executing. We still need to execute. That's why I believe very strongly that one of the things that we need in the ministry is strong leaders everywhere. And by leaders, I don't just mean permanent secretaries and deputy secretaries and directors and so forth. One of the things that we need in the Ministry of Health is people who have the leadership abilities to be able to drive things. And we've come up with a model of the kind of leaders that we need in the ministry. We need leaders that are full of energy. And I hope that you're getting those type of people out of the program that you have. It's not just enough for those leaders to be full of energy. Leaders must energize others. It's no use for you to be a leader and you're full of energy and other people around you are half dead. Whether it's your people that you work with, whether it's your customers, whether it's the stakeholders outside of the ministry. Leaders must energize others. And that is something that's very important for all of us. Not only is it enough for leaders to have energy, to energize others, but leaders must have the edge to take tough decisions. Not always very easy. Now in Fiji, we like to be very nice. Sometimes we're just very nice. We say yes to everybody. In the health fraternity, in the Ministry of Health, in the health fraternity, we need to be able to show that when you need to say no, you can say no. And the person you say no to will walk away from you and still like you because the way you say no. You must learn how to say no so that people like it. So there is this very important thing that is required for us to have that edge of making tough decisions, saying things that need to be said, and people still like you because of the way that you take those tough decisions. The fourth thing that we've always focused on is execution. Execution, we have the results that need to be delivered, and in the ministry we try to make sure that we deliver on those results. The fifth E, you notice I've been talking about E's. The fifth E is very important for this ministry, which is empathy. Empathy in the ministry, in the health fraternity, we need to be able to put ourselves in the shoes of those that we serve, so that their pain becomes our pain, their joy becomes our joy. It's not just for the people that we serve, but also for those that we work together within the organization, whether it's a hospital or a school setting. We can empathize with one another. When we do that, we create a stronger team and we're able to develop services much more effectively. And the last thing that we're looking for in leadership, in this area of health, you must have the passion for this job. You must have the passion. The vision of health must become your vision. Anybody that becomes a nurse or a doctor, it is the vision of the ministry or this idea of wanting to go out and make people better must be something that drives you. Because you know, the Bible says, without people that if you don't have a vision, what happens? People perish. The things that drives people through is that vision. So hopefully as a result of the program that you will go through here, for those of you that are taking these programs, you will acquire the knowledge and the skill. The important thing is whether you apply it or not. When I used to teach people who used to become training officers. They used to run training programs in different companies. And when you run a training program, you require an organization to have a training policy, a training needs analysis, and all of these different things. And one thing I always told people, how do you know whether a training program has been successful or not? There are different ways in which we can evaluate training. Sometimes the simplest way of evaluating a training program, if people attend the training program, they ask them, hey, how's the program? And they say, number one, that's a good program. That is called a reaction level of evaluation. People are very happy with the program. That's one level. The second level that you try to assess whether the training program has been good or not, you try to see whether their knowledge has increased or not. Maybe before they come to the training program, they did not know that 1 + 1 = 2. But after the program, they know 1 + 1 = 2. If that happens, maybe their reaction is good, their knowledge has also gone up. And then the next level, if they have knowledge and they feel good, but it does not translate into behavior, it's useless. Some people are very good. They sit in the exam here at the school, 100%. But when you go and check them on the job, all the things that they know, they're not doing. And that's a challenge for us. Because for me, as a politician, the most important aspect of any training is whether that knowledge and that reaction, and when that change in behavior actually leads to improved outcomes. It must have an impact on society as a whole. And for the Ministry of Health, that impact is an improved, healthy population, a more healthy population. So the challenge as you go into this program is not to forget, it's not just about education. It's about changing your behavior. If behavior does not change, training has been useless. It must have an, when you change your behavior, then it has an impact on society. And I believe, in the ministry, we have tried to come up with the kinds of things, the kind of values that we want to see in everybody to make sure that we can deliver good service. And those are the value statements of the Ministry of Health. Anybody that is coming out with these programs, I hope that these values will be something that are inculcated into your training. It's not good enough to know the technical aspects of the job, but it's important about the things that you have inside of you. And those values in the Ministry of Health are, first of all, is the value of equity. The value that we treat everybody equally, irrespective of who they are, irrespective of whether they speak your language or they speak a different language, irrespective if they have hair or no hair like me, irrespective of the way they comb their hair, irrespective of their sexual persuasion, irrespective of the God that they serve, we treat everybody equally. This is a very important challenge for the mission. You know why it's so hard? Because we in Fiji are not taught to think like that. In our own communities, in our own homes, we are taught to think about that group, they serve that God, they're different from me. So I'm going to treat this group different to that group. That is something that is absolutely fundamental in health. We treat everybody equally, irrespective of who they are. The idea of equity. If you have all the knowledge and the skill and the degrees and the postgraduate degrees and all that, if you don't have equity, something's still lacking. So I'm hopeful also that as we look at developing the training programs, that these values are inculcated into the daily lives of people while they're studying here in the other institutions. Equity, everybody is equal. That is why also under our constitution, we call everybody a Fijian, because we treat everybody equally. The idea of equity, secondly, is the value that we have, the value of integrity. What does it mean to be integrity? What does integrity mean? Integrity means to be true to yourself, true to the things that you stand for. That when people see you, the things that you talk about that you will deliver, you will always deliver it, irrespective of what happens to you. Integrity, responsiveness to customers, and I think very importantly also for the area of health, this very fundamental aspect of respect for human dignity. In the Ministry of Health, when you become a nurse, when you become a doctor, everybody that you serve, you place them on a pedestal and you look up to them. You never look down on the people that you serve. They're on a pedestal above you. Our job is to serve. My job as a Minister for Health is to serve the people of this country. People that become nurses and doctors, your role is to serve, not to be served, to serve. And there can be no greater role in life than to serve others. When we serve others through giving up the things that should be ours to them, we will be able to develop. And I believe that if we can do that, one of the things that this country needs is people who serve. If we can become better servers, better followers, better people who deliver service, we then move closer to the vision that we have in the Ministry of Health to develop a healthy population and to help our people to have the best possible future. So I congratulate once again the Sangam and everybody that's been involved in this program. To those, this initial cohort that will be part of this program, I look forward to you being able to participate in the program and to come out of the program rejuvenated with more skills and knowledge. And don't forget the values, because if you don't have the values, it's not going to have an impact on your service that you have on a day-to-day basis. Once again, congratulations to Sangam, congratulations to everybody that will be part of this program. God bless you all, and I look forward to working with you in partnership, moving this country towards the vision that we have, which is a healthy population for Fiji. Namaste.
Labasa branch.
And we are renting it. 60 from the north. From the north. 60. Yeah.
Heavenly Father, we once again come before you, offering to you all the gifts of life that you have presented to us, and this is been incarnated through this special gift of a school bus being donated for a special purpose.
Right, mentally. Right, mana.
Oh, yeah. Doc, you move dia.